Hello and welcome to the top of the world. We're working inside on a project this morning. It's a payment for the generator, and I've got to make a set of steps for a porch on a little cabin in quite harsh conditions further up the mountain. And spring is here, the snow is melting, and I need to get on with this job so I can go and fit it, get that one out of the way so I can move on to the next one. Now I've decided to do something here from my vast experience of building the finest hardwood buildings around the world, that the more you do in the factory, the less problems you're going to have on site, the smoother it's going to go, etc, etc, etc. So because of the location of where these stairs are going into the cabin, I've decided to build them on a frame. And this is going to help in a number of things. It's going to help me fix it to the cabin. It's going to help me overcome the ground conditions immediately outside. And I've used impregnated timber, right? And I've also then topped that off with another impregnated stain, which didn't go quite according to plan. I want the base underneath the stairs to disappear. So I put a black pigment in with the clear stain to make it kind of go a greyish colour. What I didn't realise with the impregnating oil is it's white, but when it dries it goes clear, which means if you put a black pigment in it, then it goes completely black. Anyway, so I think the result turned out really well, albeit it might have been slightly accidental. There's my muskrat. He's almost over his little problems that he has as a result of cutting his hair. Right, here we go then. Let's move to a better angle. So I've built it on this frame so that I can transport the whole thing out to site, clear the ground, and then bolt it straight to the side of the cabin. Now it's quite wide, and it's wide for a reason. The cabin's got twin front doors, two doors that open out. So it's not a very big cabin, and it's not a very nice cabin, but it has got two doors. And when I went there with the owner, because of the cobbled stairs that are there and his age and the way he walks, in order to get the front door, he has to go up on his hands and feet. It's just the strangest thing. And so I'm building this, so it's all enclosed. He has a little landing at the top, and there's handrails so that he can hold on going up to the doors. It's a cabin he only uses in the summer. In the winter, it's just accessible because it's inaccessible because of its location. And he's far too old to be jumping on snowmobiles and, you know, trying to get to the cabin like that. So that's what I've made so far. And it's got to have a roof because it's an entrance porch. So I'm going to put in a couple of big posts there. These are just handrail posts. Put stairs on there, put handrails up, and then the top of the roof will be fixed to the cabin, and the front will be supported by a couple of large posts, so I'm going to put there. So interesting, Casper has some new balls. Sent all the way from the US of A, which is where most of you are watching now. Thanks to my good buddy Heath, right? I thought they were too big, because when I first started playing with him, he couldn't open his mouth wide enough. Anyway, not only has he learned that, and he don't usually like things that squeak, he loves them. Absolutely loves them. Kong. He still has a bit of trouble catching it. He has to adjust his little mouth. And he prefers this over his normal balls. Can't imagine why. He learns something new every day. Right. We're playing inside at the moment. I am going to show you outside, because we are in the middle of melt. And as you can see, there's something resembling a yard out there. Right. So to answer some questions I'm bound to have. Why are the steps in two pieces and why is the tread not in one long piece? Well, these are structural impregnated timbers which came as offcuts from the railway bridge when it was renovated last year. And I don't have any long pieces long enough to do this. So I have got plenty of pieces where I could do them enough, so I'll do them enough. Also, in a situation, each situation is different, but more often than not, where I've got a butt joint, it's really difficult to hide, so I don't hide it. I expose it. And by putting a round to match the edge of these boards, I put a round on the ends and also down the middle. So you can quite clearly see we can't hide it and sand it's their outside stairs. So make it kind of obvious. What do I mean? They got rounds on them. The ends are all rounded Everything's rounded. Little details, makes a difference. But also, we got to make this set of stairs for outside in harsh environment. So there's only actually 4 or 5 months of summer, 4 months of summer, where these are going. The rest of the time it's all winter. It's all covered in ice, all covered in snow. You've got to allow for the clearing of the snow. You've got to allow for melt. So, you know, make sure your gaps are 10 mil, not 5 mil, or ½ inch, not ¼ inch. The bigger the gap, the quicker the water will run off, the less pooling you'll have. And I've put in these upright posts. We've put in these upright posts, which are the same size as what the finished product's going to be, temporarily. So not only can I cut all the stairs in, because obviously with the treads we want to do all this before we take it to site, but also so I can make the handrail. The reason I haven't put the original posts, or the actual posts that are going to be in there on, is they're very tall. And the reason they're very tall is not only have we got to go up the 2 feet to the finished floor level, and then you've got the front door, but over the front door is a set of windows, which means we've got to go above that as well. So I'll just use these so I can make the handrail, make the spindles, then we can disassemble it. I'll do a drawer in, mark up all the stairs, we can stain it then, and then I know in which order it goes together. If I don't think I can. It's just a bit, I could make it in one whole piece. It's just a bit heavy. It'd be a lot easier for me to install and to get to the underneath to screw it in if I then take it apart again. Right, now we're going to make the handrail. Handrail height's best suited at 3 feet. And now that I have this wonderful, I'll show you this. Right, not only is it see-through, which I quite like. Let's try. But it's a proper tape measure. Look at that. And the reason this is a good thing is because I can work in imperial or metric. But 80% of my viewers work in imperial. So once again, thank you to my man is Dotty, right, for sending me an imperial tape. Anyway, 3 feet, that's where we're going. So Tom of Handrail wants to be at 3 feet, which is about 900 in other measurements, imperial, metric, right, 3 feet. There you go, look at that. More useful than you might think, that. Make sure these short temporary ones are perfect in every way. Otherwise what we'll do is we'll cut our handrail and our spindles and everything else. When it's on site we'll put up our front posts, our support posts, and of course they'll be upright and level, and if these are not right, our handrail won't fit. And I want to make it so that it's finished and all I've got to do is assemble it on site. And I only want to be on site for 1 day, because remember we're paying for this. This is payment for the generator, and you have to think about how much he determined the generator was worth and how much you give back, and it's a long way, and diesel prices. So we want to make sure we have all the materials, everything is pre-made and pre-cut wherever possible, and we've got the generator and all the tools on board, so we're just doing one trip to the mountain. So we've got a nice bit of birch here, which will I can cut in half and make the tops of the handrails there. 1.5 inches thick, 5 3/4, 2 3/8. Wow! How did I remember that? There you go. 2 3/8. I'll just check that. Huh. Well, that's just blown my own mind, that has, because I've been working in metric so long. And anyway, obviously, it doesn't matter, metric or imperial. It's just swapping between the two, but now I don't need to, so there we go. So we make those 2 3/8, and then we'll just sand the edges, put a nice big round on them, and that'll do for the tops. Right, that's the handrails in. It's going to transform his life. It's going to transform the cabin, it is. Right. Let's make some spindles. Probably won't need that. Probably won't need that again for another 6 years. But when you do need it, it's a really useful tool. Isn't that nice? So other than these front posts, everything is there now. I'm going to drill out the spindles, ready for fixing off. And then I can disassemble it and stain it all up. And then we can make the upright post, the front section and the roof. Right, let's try to paint the red stuff red. I'm going to have to shut the door down because we've got a hell of a wind today. It's not an ideal for paint spraying, but I've got to go today. I've set up the paint sprayer. That's ready to go. Made a mess already, as you can see. And yeah, we're going to set to and give the first coat, first side. And see how we go from there. I might give you a sneak preview into an awesome upcoming project. It's probably going to be for the winter, early winter. Something that I've been wanting to do for 5 or 6 years, possibly longer in my mind, but I couldn't find what I needed in a way that I didn't have to pay for them, and that being the key. So I need new lights, and what we've got in some of the big rooms are these naff lights that I've been given or taken out of old houses, and that's not what I want. I need blow your mind lights, and in order for blow your mind lights, I needed something that I needed, and I found them. Oh yeah, the genuine article. Not uncommon here in these parts, these. Anyway, lights. Right. That's enough red, I think. Here we are. At the top of all the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. Right. Over there, that's where we pulled the generator out of, and now it's time to pay for it. And this is where we got. So the old man, in order to get into the doors, he goes up these stairs on his hands and feet, because it's so. Anyway. Now it's not the nicest looking cabin. No, aren't you? But it is. And we made a deal. And this is how we're going to pay for the deal. Got everything we need. So I managed to get some boilerplate and cut it to the right size, because we want to match the house. He's taken the green stuff off, Heath. Look, it's gone. Anyway, still his favourite toy, and he's still got a new one. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. That was a fucking moose, wasn't it? Creeping up behind me. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Let's give you a biscuit. I didn't hear that creeping up, you did. It's funny, you know. On the way here, we saw one moose, 4 adult reindeer and a baby reindeer, 1 Arctic hare, 1 Arctic fox and an eagle, and that was Casper. There was a moose coming up behind me again. Anyway, he's oofed it off out of it, oofed it off out of it, oofed it off out of it, and now it's gone. The wind is giving me arseache. How are we doing? Oh yeah, we're not doing bad. But the wind is killing me. Unsafe set of steps, to be honest. Sometimes you've got to wonder whether it's worth it, yeah. The wind's just blown that over for the 5th time, and this time it's smashed my screen. And it's got a brand new screen in it. And it's got a screen protector on it, and it's in a protected case, and it's just smashed my screen. That's made me have a bad day now, because it just costs more money, doesn't it? Right, anyway, how am I getting on? Well, I was getting on alright until my screen's smashed. Fuck's sake. The wind's bad, there's nothing I can do about it. That's that job done. Do you know, I'm still reeling of the smashing of my screen on my phone. It's taking the shine off the day. So I don't want it to take the shine off the day for anybody else. And look at what we turned this horrible cabin into, right? Or at least the entrance. Handrail both sides, nice steps. I don't like the bottom one. I think they could do with some concrete or something in there. I don't know, some stones. Still a bit of a step up onto that one, but once you get up onto there, then you're kind of away really. That is us done. Concludes the end of this, probably by now, rather long video. Thank you all for watching. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.